Hi everyone, it's me, Whimsy. I decided to come on and tape a video for people. A little bit of what I'm going to be doing is some remote viewings for people. I did 2 remote viewings last night. I followed the energy for 2 separate subjects. One of the subjects that I focused on for the remote viewing was the police officer Chauvin. So it is a sensitive topic because I put myself in the shoes of Officer Chauvin. So the reason I did that was so that I could understand what was in the mind of this individual at that day. So that's one of the remote viewings I'm going to be giving. The other remote viewing has to do with the mask mandates that President Biden has been pushing, and a little bit about energetically what's going on with the virus. Thought I would also do a couple of blitzes as well. All right, so that's it. If you haven't had a chance to join yet, those of you who are interested in the membership, I think it's $2.99. We hang out. It's a small group. It's more intimate. It's more one-on-one, personal readings, fun things like that. We do slumber parties a lot. People wanted to know what we do at the $2.99 level. At the $6.99 level, that's the HCRV class. It's once a week, plus you get all the benefits of the fairies and angels. The elders program, people had asked me about that, is classes in naturopathic medicine, wise woman ways, the spiritual path of the elders, sharing wisdom, recipes, food, nutrition, basically how I live as a naturopathic doctor and how I practice my medicine and sharing wisdom. That's the elders. And then the final 99.99, something like that, dollars. That's for people who come in once monthly. They get a free half-hour reading in addition to everything else. Anyway, I'm sorry. I know it's selling, but I have to do it so that because people have asked me to explain it. The first thing I want to talk about is the fact that Biden is pushing the mask mandate. I was reading the New York Times, and what I found out in the New York Times is I read an article by Dr. Rochelle Walensky, and Dr. Rochelle Walensky is saying that there's a rise in new genetic variants. What's happening with the virus is as the virus moves from host to host, there's a risk that there will be, as it replicates, it uses human cells in order to replicate itself. Every time it does that, there's a risk of changing genetic sequencing. And so over time, there's something called genetic drift. The concern here is that as long as more and more people are getting the virus, and it has more and more hosts that it can infect and then change, we will never get above the virus. We will forever, eternally be having to get shots, having to live like this, because there'll be a group of people that's continuing to get infected and continuing to be host to this virus. So here's the thing I wanted to talk to people about, because I had meditated on this in the last couple of days. The concern here is that we're going to see a really huge spike in infection and death after spring because of spring break. Why is it going to be more vulnerable after spring? And here's kind of the feeling I got as I went into this energy. Here's some of what we're facing in the coming months with these new variants if we don't all make sure everyone gets vaccinated. The new strains coming out, stronger, more contagious, some of them. The problem is that some of the people that are getting infected have already a depressed immune system because they've recovered from having had types of COVID or infection before. So number one, the reason why a lot of people are at risk of dying the second time around, more virulent, sometimes, and also possibly more aggressive. The second reason is because a large population of Americans have already recovered from COVID, and they may already have depressed immune systems, making them more vulnerable the second time around. They could also have a depressed immune system because they've recovered from the flu. A lot of people have been spending time indoors, so their vitamin D levels are down, and that also can have an impact on the immune system. People are deconditioned and haven't exercised. We're seeing increases in type 2 diabetes. Again, that can have a negative impact on the immune system. We're also seeing people's lung function being affected, kidney function, liver function, fatty liver disease, etc. These are the consequences of long-term quarantine, not walking, not going out, not socializing. We're seeing health consequences because of that. And for that reason, people who have not been vaccinated are at a greater risk the second time around. So it's just something I wanted to get out to people, that we all have to be really careful to make sure to get vaccinated. I wanted to go ahead and do the empath prayer and then check to see what the future of the virus is and concerns about variants. So let's do the empath prayer. Let's take a look and go in. Sound good? All right. All right, I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and good angels to be with us. Give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, for the planet, for the people we love, but also to help those we may have strife with. And together we say, Amen. Let's go in. The future of the virus. All right, here's the future of the virus. There's the surgeon's card, right? People are feeling claustrophobic. Look at that. The 9 of Wands. This is a card I associate with jail. A lot of people are feeling jail. They're feeling like they can't go anywhere. They're wondering how much longer this nightmare is going to go on, right? By the way, I get vaccinated tomorrow. Pfizer. Yeah, let's take a look. The virus, right? The thing we are changed to, the codependent relationship, or the addiction with, oh, there comes Gaia too. So my concern here, seeing a devil card, which can be codependency, it can be addiction. We're seeing a rise with a lot of people in their homes, not being able to get out. We're seeing people are increasing the amount of alcohol they're consuming, recreational drugs, etc. The good news is the Empress is a really good sign. It's, as you know, it's a sign of fertility, blessings. It's the card that has to do with Gaia, actually the earth, abundance, what is above us, the world, what sits below us. The Chariot, things are moving very fast in the world. There was some confusion in the past. It's like we're trying to come together. Look at this, the work that we share. You can see the 10 of Wands coming into the world. The work we share, there's some confusion still. There's this feeling about this that we're concerned that not everyone is getting vaccinated fast enough. For example, what's going on right now in Canada. So we're sending vaccine. This race against the clock to make sure everyone gets vaccinated before the virus can change into something that would require us to start the whole process over again. Foolish decisions were made possibly by others, the hope and the fear, the healer, the communicator, and also fast and quick here, Knight of Swords. Knight of Wands. Final outcome is the gap stop. So yeah, we're going to be able to stop it. We are actually going to be able because of how these vaccines are made, regardless of the genetic variation of the vaccines at this time, the way that they attach to the T cell, the way that they're attaching to the immune cells, appears to not be changing all that much. And so as long as that remains stable, the vaccines like Pfizer, et cetera, should be working just fine. All right, so the next question I got has to do with Matt Gaetz, naughty little Matt Gaetz. What's interesting about Matt Gaetz is that the AG had started investigating him. You know, this is one thing I will say was good about Barr. He went after pedophiles. I mean, he was good about that. But let's go ahead and let's take a look at Mr. Matt Gaetz. Let's see. I think he's going to be asked to step down because this is something the Republicans don't want. But let's take a look. We'll make him an air sign male. I don't know if he's an air sign, but we'll just make him the King of Swords. The future of Matt Gaetz, the Ice King, right? What is the future of Matt Gaetz? Gaetz. Complete confusion. This can also be alcohol abuse, getting drunk. Maybe he got drunk or seduced someone, got them drunk. This can be alcohol, howling at the moon, lunacy, chariot would indicate movement. He's in trouble. But this lunatic energy, this is like people hanging out, smoking weed, doing pot, getting high at night, doing crazy things. It's that kind of lunacy. What is over him? There's a money issue. Look at that big money. What's crossing him in the grave over? He was paid, what I think with this type of big money put him there, and big money wants him gone. You see a chariot as the base. Go, go, go. In the grave, what? Big money over him. He's going to lose his donors. Look at that. Ace of Cups. He pulled double aces. That's pretty good. What is below him? Four of Wands. New beginnings. Off in springtime. He was foolish in the past. It takes him to where? Again, chariot movement. He's got a lot of movement cards. Look at this. Chariot here. Knight of Wands. Travel, an offer to leave. He's getting this offer to go. It's almost like he's been pulled into the private sector or a new opportunity, new money, new opportunities, right? New offers. Where he's at, right there it is, the job. He's been given a job possibly in the public sector. He's been chased out of politics, and this will happen very quick. He's been dumped like a hot potato. Most likely outcome for him, for Matt Gaetz, is that he'll be given an opportunity in the public sector, and he will step down to go into a job in the public sector. They'll basically pay him to leave. That's my feedback on that. Wow. Well, not much of a good future for Matt Gaetz. Okay, so this next thing I wanted to talk about is a little bit dark, and this is a lot of people had asked me if I could go in and take a look at Officer Chauvin, who's currently on trial because of George Floyd, because of the murder of George Floyd. So this was interesting because what I tried to do as a remote viewer is I tried to put myself in the shoes of Officer Chauvin the day of the event. The day of the event, as an HCRV practitioner, I wanted to be this person. I wanted to experience what it was like to be him. I wanted to be in his mind. I wanted to understand where the anger came from, where his head was at the time that this incident happened. I also followed him into the future to see where he was in the future. And where I found him was in prison. So I believe he will be found guilty. In the remote where I went into the future, he was in complete isolation in prison, Chauvin was, and he had had a hard time adjusting. There was a feeling I had that I was having trouble adjusting to prison life, and that I didn't have many people that wanted anything to do with me in the prison. I pretty much kept to myself, and I didn't have many visitors. Maybe there'd be a reporter or something like that, but for the most part, I didn't make many loyal friends in this life as Chauvin. There were not many people that came up to bat for me. I don't know if he's married or has kids, because I didn't look into that at the time of the remote because I wanted to go in blind, but I felt like family was miserable. Wife, family, close relations were miserable and very unhappy with me. There were some odd things about this individual. For example, he had a fascination with asphyxiation. The day of Mr. Floyd's murder, Chauvin, energetically, I felt like I had an extreme anger problem, which I don't think is too far-fetched based on what we know about this individual. I had an extreme anger problem. I was fed up and disgusted with my job. I was fed up and I was disgusted with supervisors. I wanted to know what this individual felt at the time of the murder, and he said that he felt fed up and disgusted. When I tried to get more clarification, this is what I heard from Chauvin. Things were going very bad in my personal life that I cannot discuss here, but racism was not the main. He's claiming that racism was not the main motivation for me, but I did want to hurt someone that day. I had problems at work. I had problems with my supervisor. People don't take my side at work. I felt abandoned and I felt like nobody cared. So he was looking for somebody to hurt because of problems in his personal life. He was really angry. He was really disgusted with his job. He hated his job. He hated his work environment. He felt like nobody had his back. And he was so angry that day, he just wanted to hurt someone so badly because there was so much anger inside of me that day as Chauvin that the only thing that was going to make me feel better in my mind in that psychotic break was hurting somebody. So unfortunately, that is what he did. I want to go ahead now and throw the cards for Officer Chauvin and see what happens in his future. The future of Officer Chauvin. What is his destiny? Ten of Cups, the happy family, Two of Pentacles, the karma of the happy family, the karma of the happy home. Two of Pentacles, trickery, instability, rocky waters, rocky financial. Yeah. He had issues in his home. This individual had problems, possibly an addiction of some type even, that he was not letting people know about. You can see here, I had a feeling that was going to come up. Codependency, addiction, possible drug abuse. Also, this is something we'll see in psychopathy is, I call this the trickster's card, juggling things, gaslighting, you don't know where they're going next, rocky waters. There's something here about a marriage or a partnership. Quick by August. This is also can be a struggle card where The negative aspects of Eight of Wands can be a feeling of multiple attacks. This is one of those individuals that truly feels extremely angry and infuriated because he feels like, similar to Donald Trump in the sense that he feels like he has no allies, he has no loyalty, and there's a woman here leaving him. There's something about a woman here leaving him, possibly a wife or something like that. Again, I didn't look to see if this individual was married, but you can see here the outcome, the Five of Pentacles. There's the there's something about him being shipped to another prison that's going to be, yeah, he's getting shipped to a larger prison. So I guess he's found guilty. You can see here, truth coming out, Lady Justice. Here's the judgment. And then here, the hidden truths coming out. And then here's my card that pulls him east. I think he's going north east. He's getting transferred. This looks like a state prison or something. Talk about someone with an anger problem. You know, I mean, I think if I were to take anything away from somebody like Chauvin and this type of mental health problem, mental illness, this type of anger, I would say this is a good example of how someone can feel that they have so much righteous anger and it consumes them to such an extent that they end up doing something really horrible as a consequence. And the great irony is that from his perspective, he feels righteous. He feels infuriated. He feels disgusted with his job, disgusted with the supervisors. He was infuriated with how this guy was at the end of his ropes with his job at the time that this happened. It's going to be interesting to see what comes out with this. Wow, dark subject. I think he's somebody who had a lot of problems and still does, and I don't think that his future is going to be. I don't know if there's any redemption at this point for this individual because of the extent of anger that he has. All right. All right, thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.